Hey, welcome back to the Fanboy Cantina. We are live today talking about episode 7, the finale episode of the Book of Boba Fett, and we are joined by our friends of the channel. How are you guys doing?
We're
It's
good.
Friday night. It's Friday night. We're great.
So good. But there's so much to talk about. There's so
There-
much to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about, so let's go. And okay, I like the nightlife, baby. And she says, let's go. So let us dive right in. And yeah, I'm going to put up the title again, The Book of Boba Fett, episode 7. Before we hop in, I'm going to share one thing that I did post onto Twitter earlier in the week. Just in my reactions, I enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett finale. Is it uneven and imperfect? Absolutely. But as a kid who remembers playing on the floor with his Star Wars toys after Return of the Jedi, with no new movies coming, this is still more than I could have dreamed of. And so for me, it captures my feelings. I thought it was uneven. I thought it was imperfect, but I enjoy Star Wars. I enjoy live action Star Wars. So it gave me a lot of good vibes. I enjoyed this show. Is it perfect? Heck no. But I enjoyed it. Let me get rid of the title that is still on the screen here. See?
Now, what show are we talking about? Oh yeah, right.
I'm sure is it this one? I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
That's
right.
why it's in my old age that I keep it up just so I can remember what the heck's going on. But anyways.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You gotta give it to us, Obi-Wan. What was your feeling?
Okay. There's something that's really bothering me from this last episode, and I think it revolves around the fact that they introduced such an interesting, great character in the last episode, where I had dreams of aspirations of, all right, they're going to have Cad Bane. We're getting ready to take things to the next level going into a season 2 of Book of Boba Fett. And they killed him off. And I'm like, no, why would you do that? Why would you build up your live action debut to this one character to just kill him off in the very next episode? I think that was a bust. That shouldn't have happened. I'm still upset about that. But everything else that you said, fanboy, yes, it did bring back the nostalgia of being a kid again. So it's live action Star Wars, so that part is always fun. I felt like there were some elements of other genres and movies that were sort of thrown in there. I mean, we had everything from a little bit of Desperado, probably because of Rodriguez. I felt like there were some hints of King Kong when the Rancor was climbing up on some buildings, and then at the end with Fennec, I felt like that was a little bit of The Professional, Leon, where you have everyone in the syndicate just getting killed off and shot and hung and everything else. So those elements were fun, but killing off Cad Bane, I didn't quite get that, why they went in that direction. The Power Rangers mod squad, I don't even know why they're there. I don't know what's happening with them. And there was something else, and it just escaped me. It'll come back.
Music. You haven't commented on the music. Was it?
The music, I felt like I don't know if someone over in the music department in production said, hey, you know what? The first 3 episodes, that music wasn't working. I feel like they completely abandoned it. Completely. And so it had the tone of Star Wars, and with the flavor of the Mandalorian, since he's playing such a big has a big presence in these last several episodes. So I feel like from a tone standpoint, it feels like that's back on point again. But yeah, if I had to give my overall, well, I'm going to save that till we get to that segment.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
In the chat, we've got some comments here. Is Fanboy G wearing a Star Wars shirt like the rest of the panel? And so, yes, I actually am. It is Ce n'est pas une lune, and so it does glow in the dark to be the Death Star. So I do have a.
And is that merch that we can buy on your website, or?
It is not. It's an old woot.com shirt. And I should be keeping up with the chat. Yeah, keep it up as old. Yeah, all right. Okay. And then a shout out for that Chewy mug. Yeah, that is handsome. Hey!
Oh!
We have a special guest.
A special guest. Hi!
Ew, no girls allowed.
What the heck is going on?
Sorry.
She's my biggest fan.
It's good. It's good. Oh yeah, and a shout out for the poster. Yes, that is a beautiful poster that D Block has back there.
His is, yes, with a $2.99 frame from Michaels. So we go all out here.
And oh yes, that is right. It's like a beard kind of thing. I guess that we got going on. I'm shaving this thing off. This was a pandemic thing, and I realized that maybe it's going to be an endemic thing with COVID. I really hate this thing. I don't know.
I feel like you've been saying that for like 3 years now.
Yeah, it feels like it, right? Yeah, yeah, and it's still on my face. I don't know. All right. So did we cover everything? Oh, I like this one though. Cad Bane will be back like the Emperor before him. It did seem like he died, but if you notice when they pan away from him, that little light is still flashing on his chest.
Yes.
So
that's true.
I'm not. I went back to some of my anatomy books, and knowing that the Duros have very different anatomies from most other humanoids, it confirmed my suspicion there really are no vital organs in that central thorax region. Combining that with the fact that he has the oxygen going right to his neck there, bypassing his trachea, I think he's just fine. But that does bring me to another point of agree with you, Obi-Wan, that why not just let him escape? I mean, I think one of the things I loved about his character on the Clone Wars was those I don't know, rocket boots or repulsor boots or whatever. He could have, as Boba was about to stab him, he could have repulsored away and lived to fight another day. I don't know. I worry with this show. It's just it's kind of like it's becoming G.I. Joe cartoons from our youth where nobody actually dies. There are no consequences. Well, other than that deputy, he definitely is dead.
That guy's dead.
Well, not necessarily. Did you stick around and see the post-credit scene?
Well, yeah, I'm talking about the deputy, the one that got like the 8 blaster bolts to the chest.
Oh, he's totally dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's pretty dead.
Yeah, he's
mostly dead.
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
He and the two Gamorrean guards, they're dead. Everybody else, throw him in a back to tank. Let Mr. Mod Squad guy rebuild him. So it does kind of take away. You're just left with, is he? Isn't he? There's no finality to it. It I don't know. Just a little bit of a disappointment. I thought that their final showdown was a bit anticlimactic. I did like that the whole well, you do it. You've got to look out for yourself. That's the only way you're gonna win. Versus, no, I'm part of a tribe and I'm gonna use my gaff stick to defeat you. That was neat. That was good. But otherwise, pretty anticlimactic.
Yeah.
I thought the showdown with Cobb Vanth was much better. Much better.
Totally agree. No, I'm not going to shave off the beard on the live stream.
I'll double that.
All $2. And from Chris, it's Lucas was a fan of the old movie serials. In those serials, the villain always came back from the dead, so Bane coming back is consistent with the Lucas influences.
Yeah. With Darth Maul's a perfect example there. So yeah,
and the Emperor,
yeah.
And Boba Fett.
And Boba Fett.
That's true. kind of everybody. What did you think of just the arc of the strategy of The Last Stand? I love the Alamo kind of plot device, right? You had the Alamo and actually at the end of season 1 of The Mandalorian in that cantina. I love that kind of device. I thought it was an odd strategy choice to defend in the sanctuary as opposed to Jabba's palace. I get the whole inspiration of the people thing, but strategy-wise, I don't get it.
I think it could have been pulled off a little bit better if, you're right. It did feel like it almost mimicked the end of the season 1 of Mandalorian. I do like that type of a situation as long as it's executed right. And I feel like if you're going to put yourself in that situation, then be smart and use your surroundings. When you've got Boba Fett and Din Djarin just out there in the middle of the street, it's a horrible strategy. They're just standing there, just targets. And so I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, why aren't they behind something? Why are you just putting yourself out there? And it obviously wasn't working that well. So
they're out in the open on the street. Yes. And then also with the Pikes, they're not rocket scientists either in military strategy, where it's a street going across. Yes. And they're only going to go
on both sides.
Right? I'm going to attack straight on, as opposed to maybe trying a flank.
Yes.
Of some kind.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Or we are outgunned, we are outnumbered, but I'm going to leave the Rancor back home and a freaking gunship called Slave One back home.
Yeah.
And we know that thing can do all kinds of things. They were able to cozy up to the Sarlacc pit, spend all kinds of quality time right over it.
Yes.
So
making out with it.
Yes.
It's a maneuverable spaceship.
Yes.
But we'll just leave it back home. It's all right.
I don't know. I get what they were trying to do about he's a man of the people and these are his people and this is his town. It's just really hard to understand. Like, he just showed up there. They're not his people. It's not his town.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do a good job of showing that the Pikes were really a true threat to the townspeople. All they wanted to do was get rid of Boba. Like,
right.
I know they blew up the sanctuary, but that was just because that was his place. That was the place that was paying for his protection. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been way cooler to see stuff happen at Jabba's palace.
Yes.
I think it would have opened up a whole world of opportunities and cool things to see. It's just, I get it. Going back over all the different Star Wars battles, none of them make sense. The
true.
Battle of Hoth is awesome to look at, but the AT-ATs aren't really the best things to probably have, and why did they drop them off 400 miles from the bay? It's just, there are things I guess you can probably nitpick at, but it's just hard when you're like, oh, Boba Fett, he's the most cunning bounty hunter in all of the galaxy, and Din Djarin, he's constantly outsmarting people. And they were both just like, well, should we just give up and go out there Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid style? And I was like, what are you talking about? There was no, they didn't really have to leave the building. It wasn't like anyone was coming in. I didn't really understand separating everybody. Mm-hmm. And of course, them getting backstabbed was, we all saw that coming. But yeah, you could see what they were trying to do. Just like with most things in the show, they did a very poor job of pulling off the nitty gritty and just focused on it being fun. So I'm trying to change my perspective about the show and how I view it. I just am trying to enjoy the fun parts and not get bogged down in the really irritating and poorly constructed show.
Yeah. Oh, and can we get a moment of silence for the two Gamorreans? Yeah, they are not coming back.
No. And wow, were they pathetic? I mean, just no. I mean, nothing. Like, they didn't try and fight back. It was just they're pathetic warriors. Well, I don't understand why people keep hiring them to be their guards. they're terrible.
I mean,
yeah, they died badly.
Yes.
Although in the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett, they did save Boba Fett and Fennec Shan's bacon.
Yeah.
In that.
Yeah.
Ambush.
Yeah. I mean, they
actually fought then and looked kind of intimidating.
Yes.
I mean, this last episode, they
just kept backing up. Like, when you get that close, you feel like, well, I'm definitely going to die if I go this way. I probably am going to die if I go this way. Let's go with probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Separate, yeah. So that's an additional military strategy problem. You got leave the gunship at home, leave the Rancor at home.
Yeah.
The Alamo strategy, even though not well protected, splitting up your already thin ranks geographically all over the place. What were they thinking? And then during it, you take people off the table to go do something else. Boba Fett disappears to go fetch the Rancor as opposed to the gunship.
I'll be back in a little bit.
And who knew?
You guys got this, right? I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it to one guy now, to Mando to fight the two robot things, and Fennec Shand actually leaves. You take her off the table. For a big chunk.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve to win. They didn't deserve to win.
They didn't deserve to win. Well, because I probably have opened up the negative column here. Favorite moments
let's
of
get
the
back
episode.
To positive
let's go back to the positive. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right, I got a few.
Okay.
I don't know, and again, I'm just trying to enjoy the fun of it. Seeing the X-wing come in, it was like, oh my gosh, is Luke back on Tatooine? This is kind of cool. And then but it was Grogu, and that was great. I did love the little nod that the Amy Sedaris character had about Grogu. What a terrible name! I'm not calling you that. Because I'm guilty of calling him Baby Yoda. So I thought that was pretty clever. So that was good to see. The Force jump into Mando's arms. Love that. That was great. The Rancor, I have kind of mixed feelings about. I did like how they initially started it, where you see like some of the scales of his back, kind of like Godzilla coming out of the water. And then the way they did the panning where it was showing the face of the Rancor and then he goes down and you see Boba riding on top of it. That was pretty awesome. I I think one of my favorites was a moment. I think one of the few favorite moments during the whole battle scene was one of the Pikes hiding behind like a wall, like a little pillar, and the Rancor just smashing through it, grabbing the Pike, and then lifting him up. And then he lifts him up towards Boba, and then Boba shoots him. That was pretty cool. So little fun things like that were great. And then of course, Grogu kind of cuddling up with the Rancor at the end. Oh, that just tugs on the heartstrings. So there were definitely some good quality moments in an otherwise sloppy mess.
Yeah. Obi-Wan, what other things you would add?
I agree with D-Block on seeing the X-wing at first. You know, when you hear the familiar sound of R2-D2's little beeps and boops and the sound of the X-wing flying overhead, it's like I had the same immediate thought, thinking, "Oh wow, this is a homecoming." So Luke's coming back to Tatooine. All right, and then the canopy opens and it's little Grogu. So I thought that was that was kind of a cute little spin there to tell how he made his choice. So that was pretty cool. I also enjoyed at the end when they're taking off and flying over Tatooine. So Mando and Grogu are leaving, and Grogu keeps tapping on the window with his little silver ball, and so it's fun to see them back in their in their companion type of relationship that they have, and the thrill that we learn that Grogu enjoys going really fast, because you see that exhilaration when he's first on a speeder bike in The Mandalorian, and then when he's flying with Mando on his jetpack. So we get to see that again, where you have to remember while he's many years old, he's just a little kid, and so he's just trying to see it through his eyes and the exhilaration of just moving fast, because I still get that way when I'm going fast. So that was fun to see. That was really fun to see.
When you're on your speeder bike or on your Schwinn going down the hill.
Exactly.
Right now.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, did you guys not have a speeder bike growing up? Because I thought everybody did. No.
That's actually
when they had that speeder bike, like the one that you could actually ride on. Do you remember that? There were not many made.
No. Oh.
But it was like sort of like a big wheel kind of scooter thing, kind of mashed up together. And I think there was some kind of, it was like a promotional giveaway from a contest of some sort. And I remember as a kid thinking, I will do whatever it takes to get my hands on one of those. And I failed ultimately. So didn't get to ride that one, but I did find online there are some plans for instead of like a rocking horse kind of thing, it's a rocking speeder bike.
Nice.
I thought that would have been pretty cool to make, but I haven't gotten around to it. So,
and it's for yourself, right?
Oh, it's totally for me.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, why would you even ask that question?
I have had the Huffy speeder bike. So the brand was Huffy. I have had the Huffy speeder bike in my eBay searches for like years. And I have not pulled the trigger yet because it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And for an adult, it's kind of stupid, really.
It's not really stupid.
Well, I mean, it's like a 40-year-old toy where the plastic is kind of deteriorating most of the time. So,
and could we even fit into it now?
Exactly. In the chat, oh yes, all of these combinations. You've got Boba and Mando, Boba and the Rancor, Mando and Rancor. Rancor goes Kong. Rancor eats dude. Fennec cleans house. Lots of good moments. With that, so my two favorites, the Fennec, just assassin fest.
Yes.
I was like, wow, this was like the best part of the whole show for me, or among the best parts of the whole show for me, where Fennec shows who she actually is, right?
Yes.
That's just complete slaughter. Oh, and I'm going to use this moment to bring out a prop, some props, because since
Ming Na's with you?
What? Yes, she's in my house.
Special guest.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we have here the I'll do it in the one shot here. So we've got the Fennec Shand Black Series action figure. This looks really great. I will be opening this thing up.
That is nice.
In the kind of messed up marketing that Hasbro has with Star Wars and things, so there's not a Book of Boba Fett action figure available at the moment, but there is this Boba Fett on Tython. From the Mandalorian, right? So we've got that.
Oh, right.
And then I have the Mayor
Uncle Fester. Looks like Uncle Fester from the Addams Family.
It really does.
He does look a little bit peaked there.
Very, very festerish. Yes.
And then I have the exclusive Mayor Mokshai's action figure, which is right here.
What?
It's Mayor Mokshai's.
Mokshai's, yes. Mayor Mokshai's.
Mokshai's. So be sure to follow on Twitter where we'll unbox we'll have the Fennec versus Mayor Mokshai's.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Yeah, wait for that one. So in addition to the Fennec Shand moment at the end, the Alamo, where the two of them go out there, right? They have their dramatic moment that if you go, we go, right? From Backdraft or whatever you want to, that whole kind of hero speech. And then they go right out there. It's desperado for me, right? And we talked about this last time, right? Of some of how awesome that movie is. And so even though where you got Campa and what's the other guy's name in
Bucho.
Yeah, no, not Bucho. That was good though. but with in that moment where the rest of the band comes together, you got the guy with the rocket launcher guitar case, the machine gun. It doesn't make any sense, but it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So same deal. You know, it's the Alamo. It's the two of them. I'm all in for it. I love it. The wrist, not the wrist thing. What body part is this?
Knee.
Knee.
Oh yeah.
The knee missiles. I don't know what that's about. How it targets. Don't really care. It just sort of looks cool.
That was the first time I think we've ever seen that. I mean,
right.
I was like, wait.
He did it. He did it on Tytho or whatever that planet was in Mandalorian. Yeah, he took out 2 stormtroopers with it.
Wow, better memory.
Knee missiles. Who would have known? Knee missiles.
Yeah.
What?
And yeah. All right, I crossed the line. You are right. But I tell you, do you think that they called it Mayor Mokshai's out of nowhere?
No, that is definitely where it came from.
Yeah,
I will never be convinced otherwise.
Oh man. Let's see where else to go here. I think okay. So we've seen the finale here. Let me get rid of that one. So we've seen the finale. What are your overall impressions now of the series? We covered this a lot, but did it get better? Did it get worse? In a nutshell, what would you say about?
I think for me, I don't know if it got better or worse. I think as the show went on, I just changed my expectations about what the show was. It was not going to be a show that I took super seriously. It was not going to be a show that gave us the boba that we're used to. It was not going to be a show that was a lot of thought was put into the plot and the storylines. It was just going to be bringing some characters in, having some fun, and setting things up for a whole bunch of other series. And I think as I'm viewing it just as that, I am starting to enjoy it more. I think what hurts about it is that it could have been all those things and so much more. And I don't understand why it wasn't. I mean, they had all the right people working on it. I don't know. I don't know why they couldn't pull off like what they did with Mandalorian with this. I think they could. I'll never understand that, but it definitely was fun. It's not a show that I think someone who's not a huge fan of Star Wars would enjoy. I think they would laugh at it and go, "This is ridiculous." But I think for all of us that you remember playing with our toys and having scenes that don't make any sense in our mind, I mean, that was really what this kind of seemed to be all about. So I think going from that point and then thinking about what the show could become, I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that this was to tie in some things, and maybe in the future the show can just focus on being the show and not necessarily trying to connect Mandalorian with other shows out there. But I guess we'll find out.
Yep. Obi-Wan, what are your thoughts? Overall series, any change?
So I feel like it was a bit of a roller coaster. It started bumpy, so it had a low point. It started to climb. It was getting better. And then when we get to the finale, it's kind of going back down with a couple of ups. I mean, D Block nailed it. It really could have been amazing. There are so many different ways on how they could have taken it. It could have been a super dark, storyline that could have explained a lot of things for some of the hardcore fans that are out there. If Disney's goal was, well, let's just put something out there, it's fun, it's not too serious, and it's just going to be a moneymaker with merchandise that we can get off of this thing, well, then they pulled it off, So I can see that working for them. But when it comes to the quality of what I was hoping to get out of it, I mean, I'm probably going to have to give it the Red Ryder BB gun theme grade of a C+ with for Rolfie. So it's
C+.
Exactly. You'll shoot your eye out. I mean, it could have been so amazing. And I was really keeping my fingers crossed that this was going to be so cool, because it's one of the coolest characters out there in the Star Wars universe, and just didn't quite meet that expectation for me. So C+.
Yeah. No, I that grade feels about right. From the chat, the man climbed out of the Sarlacc. Mark Hamill got to play Luke as Luke, not subverted Luke. So we got those two key items. The rest is all right, just not the best. Actually, on that, I'm not sure if it's even Luke, right? Sorry, Mark Hamill that was in
Right. It was that X-Wing pilot guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yes, the guy who played the X-Wing.
It was Mark Hamill's voice, though.
It was sampled, synthesized voice.
Oh.
Did you know that?
It's super weird. So
yeah.
It may not even be Mark Hamill, or it's his voice just shoved through a massive AI engine and then brought to life here.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, I have something that's going to blow your mind, because right now I am a no.
Oh man. Yeah, I should have asked. So this is the Fanboy Cantina, and what are you guys drinking at the moment? Or anything?
At the moment, yes,
you've
always. I mean,
what do you got?
That's part of
There you go.
The gig here. Yeah, here we go, right here. This is a Hudson whiskey baby bourbon, and it's delicious.
And deep. Yeah, okay. Yes, you got the Chewy.
It's late over here.
Yes.
And it's been a long week, so I'm
Ah.
drinking coffee with Bailey's, and it's been fantastic.
Do you plan to be awake till Sunday?
I would love that. Yes.
Okay.
I could get so much done.
I am drinking wine, leftover wine. This is I have another prop. This is from Skywalker Vineyards.
Oh.
I do have the wine club membership. I guess I could have gone to the one shop for that to be easier. They are quite nice. The reds are quite nice from Skywalker.
1784.
Yes, it's that old. It's that old.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Yes.
In a vineyard far, far away.
Yeah, not too far from the house, but yeah, something like that, give or take.
You can't walk to it. It's a quick jetpack ride.
Exactly.
So then I guess he rode the Rancor back, like had to jetpack all the way back to Jabba's palace and then ride the Rancor all the way back.
Yeah, how far is the palace from that town? Like, and while walking him, did he have to? Is it like walking like a pit bull? Like, did they have to take breaks because the Rancor had to
pee?
Yeah,
poop,
right.
And then we're just going to leave the poop there. You got to pick it up. I mean,
yeah,
if he's trying to run a respectable town,
he's got to set the example.
And so here's another thing. So Cad Bane said something to the effect of, you tried to go straight and you failed or something. And I don't really get that, because on the one hand, I thought the whole thing was he was becoming the crime lord.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like, so, when he was a bounty hunter, he was straight. He had a job and he went and did it. Like, he was just doing his job. He was trying to become a crime lord, but at the same time, I don't recall him ever like breaking a law or doing anything crime related. Like, he went to the sanctuary and got a helmet full of money, and that was really, and they just gave him stuff, but I don't recall, like, the show just never showed him criming or bossing. So I don't, and I just don't get, I'm sorry, and I'm off topic, but with Cad Bane, like, it just doesn't seem like him to take something personal. Like, it was clear that the battle was over. His team had lost. He wasn't going to get paid. Like, just go. Just leave. I just feel like the character in the Clone Wars, he would have just been like, see you around, suckers. And no, like, he just kept trying to prod Boba, and I don't know. It's just, I guess it's frustrating when you have characters in other shows and it develops who they are as a character, and then they show up in this show and it's like Boba Fett and Mandalorian now have no idea how to do any kind of strategizing when it comes to battling. Cad Bane is now a non-professional that just takes everything personally. It's just flies in the face of everything we've known about them.
It's almost like the opposite of the Boba Fett arc in the original trilogy, where you got the person of mystery, a lot of fan buildup or anticipation, and then, he got kicked, and then bonks off the sail barge, and that's it.
I don't know. I'm hoping that in the next season, it focuses more on him either becoming a crime boss and criming, and having like bounty hunters do stuff for him, and then maybe bring in some bounty hunters that we know and love, or is he going straight? And I don't know. I think it could be an interesting dichotomy between having Fennec Shand on one hand and Cobb Vanth on the other, where Cobb Vanth seems to want to be a marshal and look out for the townspeople, where Fennec Shand's more about making the money and maybe not doing things so by the book. I think that could, if done well, I feel like that could be an interesting dichotomy. I think it would be great if that major domo becomes his major domo. I thought his character was fantastic. So I feel like there are so many things that they could do. They have to match up against either the Hutts or Black Sun or Crimson Dawn, or I don't know, whatever I'm trying to think of all the
it is Crimson
terrorist
Dawn,
groups
right?
from Die Hard.
Yeah. That's right.
Crimson Jihad. No, wait, that was True Lies. That was True Lies.
What does he say? Dawn. It's DAWN, honey. So I just felt like they just need to decide what they're doing with him and what he's going to be, and then take it from there. And I don't know.
From the chat, Kirk did not make the show for drinking that Klingon brew. Put the Rancor in the Slave One and drop him the Rancor on Bane's head. And then, oh yes, guest star Al Pacino taking all the business legit. Yeah. See, that could have been interesting. The whole any version other than what they did of that genre of the crime lord.
That would be great for season 2. Boba's like, no, we're just going to be a legit town. He goes with Cobb Vanth and they're doing it, but then the crime world, the dark seediness keeps pulling him back in. And just this one last thing we got to do, and then we're going legit. So much could have been done.
Yeah, I think this leads us well into, would you want a season 2? I think we're covering some of this here. Would you want a season 2 for?
Yes, as long as we can do it.
We should be creative consultants for that.
Oh no,
that's not enough. I want to. We do it.
See, if it was like me, to be honest, it probably would have ended up being the finale that we got. It would have been me with my action figures on the floor doing the no strategy. I'm going to have my handful of action figures. I'm going to pretend those are the Pikes, and even though it's a bunch of stormtroopers, and I would have probably played it. It panned out probably how my 10-year-old self would have done the season finale on my parents' floor.
With the ending after the battle, and it shows Fennec and Boba walking through the streets, and everyone's bowing at him and showing their gratitude towards saving them and everything. Mm-hmm. I felt like they started to hint at whether Boba's character wants to be in that role, right? Because he made some kind of a comment like, well, why are they doing this? And she said, Fennec said something, well, it's better that they're doing that rather than shooting at you. And
right.
well, I don't know if we should be the ones here doing that. So
oh yeah, and then she said, better us than someone else, or something to that extent.
Something like that, yeah. But she does seem to be in it for the money, because she kept talking about, oh, well, that's how we're getting our money, and this was right. So, if they were to go with a season 2, and if it were, this sort of choice, it's that whole theme around choice again, right? Does Boba go legit? Does he still, dabble a little bit in crimery and pull off some heists with Fennec? That could be interesting. So, and with the post-credit scene with the Marshal healing up in the bacta tank, he's coming back, and he's probably going to be all modded up because you had, in living color guy that was getting ready to cut him up and do some stuff. So he's probably going to look weird when he comes back. I don't know why. I mean, does he even need that stuff if he's in the bacta tank? Isn't he good enough?
He got shot in the shoulder. Just put a patch on his shoulder.
Right.
I swear to God, if he has stuff all over his face, I'm gonna.
It's going to be the Marshall Bravestar toys from the 80s, right? You know, didn't he have like a laser eye or something and a robot horse?
That
Something
sounds
like
right. Yeah.
Fabs brings in Vince Vaughn for season 2. Maybe Apollo Creed a better choice over Vaughn. Yeah. So yeah, they could get Carl Weathers as Grief Karga in the gang. Yeah. I love the Cobb Vanth character. I love that character.
Yes.
Super interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, he's now going to be RoboCop or something.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah. we'll see what they butcher there, but it would be, I think it would be a more engaging show, especially for the fans that feel like they didn't get what they were hoping to get out of it. Mm-hmm. Maybe they can make up for it in season 2 by following a storyline that will put Boba back into the seat of the underworld of doing bad things, and because, and I think Cad Bane even made the comment. He's like, well, you've got your father's blood pumping through you, so you are a killer. And before the show even starts, that's how he made his entrance into Jabba's palace. With he walks in and boom, just pops a cap and Bib Fortuna. So it's like, all right, let's do this. And then he didn't do it in the show, and it's like, oh, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah. If they were to go for a second season, the avenues could be, it turns out that this is not the life for them, and then it's perhaps an animated series of some kind. That would work for me, where you got Boba Fett and the gang, and the slave one, which is probably a little tight for all of those people. So maybe, I don't know how that works. But you could have perhaps an animated series with their adventures there. I did expect that there was going to be a conflict between Fennec Shand and Boba Fett, even though Fennec gives her loyalty to Boba for saving her life or bringing her back to life. I did expect that kind of betrayal or something like that.
Yeah.
But that didn't pan out, which is fine. But for season 2, I think they would need to make it more interesting. Perhaps there's a seedier part of Tatooine that we haven't seen, or I don't know what. I don't fully understand some of the premises now of where they're at. So you had the 3 crime lords or whoever they were managing the town. They were all slaughtered.
Yep.
Then so now everybody's going to give their loyalty to Boba, even though you slaughtered all of the infrastructure that you had before. Another mini rant thing. I didn't quite understand. There was the setup about how the Rancor has the loyalty to the person. It got attached to Boba, and then fire bad. So you get the Frankenstein action, and the Rancor is completely out of control. And you got
and
the
did
King
way
Kong
more
address.
damage to the town than the Pikes ever did, but yet
Sure.
I did love how there were still people out there like selling their fruit and selling their wares during all of this. Like, hey guys, close up shop. This is I know your boss says you got to stay open, but no, close up the shop. It's time to go.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else that we should cover about season 2 wants or wishes? Or
I hope that they don't. I don't mind bringing in characters from other series. I mean, if Din Djarin and Grogu come back, or Bo-Katan, or what, I don't mind, and I don't even mind there being like side stories. I mean, that's one of the things that Star Wars has always done so well, that there are little side story. There are 2 or 3 stories going on at the same time. I guess it was just so jarring to have this storyline of the Bacta tank and the Sand People, and then suddenly it's Mandalorian season 3 for 2 episodes. It's just so odd. And I mean, obviously they did that on purpose, and maybe they thought it was creative genius, and maybe we'll look back and say that was creative genius. It just, I don't know. It's just the whole series. It was just so, time just seemed to have no bearing in anything. I mean, it was great seeing Boba Fett ride a Rancor, but it was like, didn't he just get that thing like 5 minutes ago? And it didn't show it. I mean, it didn't. There was just no build up to anything at all in the series. Like, no reason for him to have any attachment to anyone in the town. No reason for there to be any attachment to him in the Rancor. It was just, ugh. Why did the Mandalorian help Boba Fett for free? I don't get that either. It's just, they just manufactured these relationships without showing why they would have developed, and then the payoff is just muted because of that. And I felt like Marvel did such a better job at doing that, where it's a build up and then you end with Endgame, and when people die or when loyalty's challenged, it's emotional to see, because you've seen things build and get created, not just one episode it shows it and then all of a sudden they're best friends. I don't know. It was just also manufactured, and I don't know. And maybe they're trying to build stuff through comics and other media, but I don't know. I'm trying to remain positive, and I keep going back negative. I'm sorry.
Well, I was able to enjoy the finale for the same reason that you said earlier, D Block, of I lowered my expectations, which is probably not the right answer, but at all. But does it make any sense? Not really. The strategy, no. Boba on the Rancor, okay, fine, sure. Give me all of this, and then I can separate my consumption. I'm going to change how I consume the entertainment. I'm just going to absorb it. I'm going to take it for what it is. And it was fine. There was this whole thing on Twitter as well. And we talked about this. Where is it? So the guy who created Mortal Kombat,
this guy
did this whole thing about was that spin necessary, right? And I can't figure out how to incorporate a GIF into the StreamYard, so that's why it looks like that. Okay, I wouldn't have made a big deal about it. Did it make sense? No. Does most of Desperado make sense? Not really, and it's okay. It's okay. So depending on your expectations, it's perfectly fine to criticize it, because it's a flawed show. But separating myself out a bit, taking it for what it is, it was fine. And if they gave me a season 2, if they made it in an interesting way, it would be fine. Not sure about the scope of the group, because you got 4 or 5 of these mods who we don't really know. You've got the woman who's very pale, even though it's a desert planet where there's sun all the time. you got Spin Guy, and then you got 2 other people who we don't really know at all.
One of them reminds me of the guy from Color Me Bad. When I saw him, I'm like, what is Color Me Bad doing? Why are you there? We don't know who you are. We don't care who you are. And then Spin Guy, I guess I'm going to call him Spin Guy. He looks completely out of place.
Yeah,
I mean, he's like wearing
looks like he should be on Coruscant. Like he's wearing some.
He's wearing
like he should be on Coruscant selling death sticks.
Yeah, I mean, he's wearing like space Gucci suits and everything, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Spinning around. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the mod squad. I see them. I'm like, oh, here come the Power Rangers on their little colorful Vespas. They're gonna form Voltron, and that's how they're gonna beat the super gigantic,
monster of the week. Yes.
Yeah. So
I think the thing about that scene and why it's kind of blown up on Twitter was, yes, in and of itself, is it really that big of a deal? It's a gigantic battle going on. There's all this stuff happening. Quite honestly, when I watched it, I was focused more on Black Chrysanthemum than Mod Squad guy. But I think it just boils everything down into a ridiculous character that nobody cares about, that doesn't seem like he fits, doing something that's totally unnecessary. It just sums up the show, that nothing fit together. Nobody was doing anything that made any sense, and it just looked ridiculous. But it was fun.
Yes.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
It just kind of encapsulates the entire series in that one little thing. And then it's just so ridiculous that they're holding up Black Chrysanthemum, helping him walk, and then someone's shooting at them, and so they let him go so he can pick up his gigantic cannon and start.
You're thinking about it again. Don't think about it.
Stop thinking. Stop
thinking about it. The less you think about it, the better it is.
Now there was one moment where at the very end, when after they're walking through the streets and Fennec mentioned something about, oh, what about, you should take a dip in your Bacta tank, and Boba says, oh, well, it's being used right now. Mm-hmm. So right when he said that, it's like, I thought, oh, okay, so it's the big gigantic Wookiee that's in there.
Right.
But then you see him just a few seconds later, and for like just a few brief seconds, I thought, okay, well, if it's being used, but if it's not the Wookiee in there, did he, for whatever reason, put Cad Bane in there?
Right.
That's what I thought.
And when I thought that, I was like, okay, this is about to get interesting again.
Yes.
And then I thought it would have been really funny where if it then cut to the scene to show his Bacta tank just full of Wookiee hair. I thought that could have been kind of comical. But
the little rat catching droid is in there just cleaning it.
Yeah, just kind of wiping it down with some space Lysol, getting it nice and disinfected. It's like, those Wookiees, they really shed, especially on these hot planets. But yeah, instead of wasn't Cad Bane, it was the Marshal and Living Color guy. So,
oh man, well. I think we have about covered it. Any closing thoughts before? Oh, we gotta. I'm sorry, I forgot when this came up. Maybe an IG. That was a while ago that this comment come up.
IG unit.
Oh, yeah, I would love for that in season. I mean, bring back the bounty hunters. Like, bring them in.
Yes.
Let's see Bosk. Let's see
Dengar.
Let's see Dengar. I'd love to see an IG unit.
Yes.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
That moth thing.
What?
Remember in Empire, there was that moth-looking bug guy?
The Forlom.
The brown guy. No, Forlom was the droid.
Oh, yeah.
The black C-3PO with the eyes, and then
That's right.
was... Oh, man.
It's the other guy.
Oh,
He looks
God,
like
man.
He's like
Post in the
Mothra.
chat. Post in the chat. What's the name of the other guy?
Yeah. He's like
man.
Space Mothra or something.
Space Mothra now. Yeah.
And he had the gun that had like the two...
Yeah.
It's like a two shaft kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a beetle-y.
And I was hoping that was the direction they were going to go in bringing Cad Bane. It would have been perfect. It's like, all right, we're getting ready to see all these baddies come in. But no, they didn't take our advice because they haven't hired us as creative advisors.
Even story-wise, they could have, with Cad Bane, rather than save him for the end, they could have introduced him a little bit earlier, and so then you would have had the character development for Cad Bane. Otherwise, if you didn't see any of this stuff before, it's like bad guy of the week shows up and then they kill him off.
Right.
Right. And if it were like a super nobody that no one cares about, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you bring in someone with that much of a track record and that much history,
right,
to just kill him off in the second episode with him in there,
it's a waste.
That's a huge waste. It's a huge missed opportunity. So
got
that
smoked.
part, I don't get.
Yeah, and it brings to another problem. Like the faking of who killed the Tuscans. So that was good. It wasn't the Nikto gang. It was the Pikes all along. But then, and I mean, you can kind of see where Cad Bane is going with, trying to goad Boba into doing a draw with him by bringing up the Tuscans. But it left for this, like, why do you keep bringing it up? You didn't have anything to do with it. You're the one that just found out about it. Like, either have had him be the one that went and slaughtered them all, and we watch it, and then we're like, when he does die, we're like, yeah, you killed us.
Yeah.
Or don't
I thought that's what was going to be the turn, that Cad Bane had actually been the killer. I thought that's what would have happened. Instead, we're not even going to do that.
Yeah.
But we overall liked the series. Right?
It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you guys, Mandalorian season 1, did you ever rewatch the episodes after watching it the first time? Like, would you watch an episode and then like a day or two later watch it again?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I did that with every episode. I did it both seasons of Mandalorian. Not a single time did I watch a Boba Fett episode again.
No, you were right. You were right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means, but it means something.
Right.
It does mean something.
I take that back. I did watch a little bit again of last week's episode 6, not the whole thing. I watched it. There were certain parts I wanted to see again. But yeah, no, otherwise it's not as rewatchable as the Mandalorian seasons, which is a shame. A shame.
I think because it's so painful, because it's like a constant dagger in your.
It could be so much better.
It's a constant gaffy state. Now, did you notice? It may have been an optical illusion or something, but in Boba's gaffy stick, with the metal barb part that stabs down, I thought it was straight always, and then after he stabbed him and pulls it back, I don't know, from the angle, it kind of looked like it was bent. Like, in going in, it bent the metal part. So then it's like, oh, does he have, like, if there is a vital organ there, does he have like metal installed around it to help protect him or something? I don't know.
Or did the prop break?
That probably.
And was there an Avion bottle of water left on set next to the Starbucks cup?
To the Starbucks, yes.
Yeah.
We didn't see the jeans guy in the corner.
No, I'm sure he was there.
No, but Space Gucci spin guy was there, wearing his Space Armani suit, unnecessarily spinning. And why is that mod girl so pale on a desert planet? You bring up a really great point there, fanboy. I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't have space SPF 50 on that planet.
50 ain't gonna cut it. That's got to be like a 2000. It's like spackle.
Yeah,
it's full body spackle.
Yeah.
Maybe we learned that it's not. That's part of her mod. It's not real skin. It's like
UV.
I'm trying to think. Okay, how could we come up with the stupidest, lamest thing? And that's probably what they. I'm so annoyed with the whole mod thing. I don't know why it bothers me. Like I understand that Darth Vader is part cybernetic. I get that. I don't feel like it was just okay. He has a helmet that does stuff. He has mechanical legs, but I don't feel like the show ever made it that the mechanical legs did anything extra special. They just were legs. Luke's cybernetic hand.
That's a great point.
It didn't do anything special. It wasn't like he could jackhammer somebody really fast. It just was a regular hand. This whole it seems more like Borg type stuff with shit attached to your face so that you can see stuff. And I know I'm nitpicking, like, what's the difference between wearing a helmet that does that and having something attached to your face? It just, I don't know. It didn't look like.
That's a good, yeah.
That's a wonderful point.
Yeah. I mean, Luke and Vader both needed it because Anakin was just a stump. So he needed arms and legs and needed to breathe. Luke had his hand cut off. I mean, it seemed like these were a bunch of millennials where they thought, hey, you know what'd be cool? But put a optic over my eye from a droid. Yeah, let's go ride on Vespas. And so it's like that, and then all the space techno music that they were listening to when they went into their little space mod bar. That was kind of annoying. It's like space millennials. I don't know.
Space millennials.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
But with Robert Rodriguez, he worked on Battle Angel Alita, the live action movie, and
which I enjoyed.
It's a great. I really enjoyed that movie. I wish there would be a sequel of it. And you have people who are augmented for a reason. Yeah,
that's it. It's for a reason. But
yeah. Well, and with Battle Angel Alita, she has all these unique abilities. So there's a story behind the mods, or not in her case, it's her body, but there's a story behind why her cybernetics are the way that they are. Whereas with the mods, I kind of don't get it.
It's just like getting a tattoo. It's like,
yes,
why don't we chop off my arm so I can have a robot arm that's red? This ain't getting sunburn. I ain't getting skin cancer on this thing.
Oh man! All right. Well, I think we should wind it up.
But it was fun. It was fun.
It was fun. But it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. If I were my younger self, I definitely wouldn't have been nearly as critical, but having the mileage that I do in years and in growing up with Star Wars and having all the history and background on all of these really cool characters, as an adult, it's just like, but my young kid side loved it. My adult side, C+.
I have this weird dichotomy where I want to see a season 2, but if I had the ultimate call, it would be that this show was never made. So I don't know what that means, but definitely let's make a season 2 because I feel like there's only one way to go and that's up. But I really wish they had just never made this show.
Oh man. I'm gonna still stand by my comment. My childlike self embracing live action Star Wars. D-Block, I can't say you're wrong, but yeah. So it could have been, at least it could have been something else or something so much better. But I appreciate that we live in an age where we can enjoy more Star Wars.
That's right.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, D-Block. Thank you, Obi-Wan. And thank you all for watching and sticking through it. And thanks for the comments in the chat. And if you're watching later, please do post in the chat, post in the comments. We would love to hear from you. We can continue the conversation.
Who was the insect bounty hunter?
Oh, yeah. See, I feel bad about that.
Who was Space Mothra?
Yeah, Space
Mothra.
Space Mothra guy.
Who would listen to us? We don't even know. We can't even name all the original bounty hunters. Oh, gosh.
Oh man.
Pathetic.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we appreciate you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thanks for watching. This has been the Fanboy Cantina. Take care. Good night.